I'll start making daily videos, really short, just little updates, describe what I saw today and how my day went. I want to mention that I did download Bulkowski's pattern recognition software, Patternz, and that's what you see pulled up right now. It turns out to be a great program for identifying candlestick patterns, which is good because I know nothing about candlesticks, but it's not very good at chart patterns, which is fine because I can do that myself. So I was looking at this last night and I noticed that but Friday's candle was identified as a spinning top. It's a pretty random acting candle. It's only a reversal 51% of the time. And here we can see that Patternz identified it and gave a price target at $17.94, and that was extremely close to the low today at $17.80. It missed the price target by 14 cents, but it did pass through it. Incredible stuff. Unfortunately, the software does not give us an analysis of today's candle, but just looking at it, you can tell that this tail is very long. This looks like a bottoming tail, but there's also a wick. I think what's most important about reading today's candle is that the body is taller than the previous body and the close is below the previous trading range. So this looks bearish. I expect that the gap between yesterday's close and today's open was a continuation gap, not an exhaustion gap, and so more downside is likely. Although I do expect some sideways grinding before that happens. Pulling up my charts really quick, you can see that I was watching AMC, ORCL, GNPX, and the SPY today. This yellow line on the SPY is the bottom trend line of a broadening top, and you can see that the price was spinning along that line, that level, coming up to return to it later in the day, but then rejecting and falling down. This is a close outside of that pattern, and so I should calculate a price target for that, but I haven't. We'll see what happens with it tomorrow. GNPX opened and fell, passing through the 1.618% retracement level and maintaining this downtrend at the close. I ended up closing my positions in GNPX down here, accepting a loss. That's totally fine. I can re-enter when it becomes more bullish. I am watching it. I am still bullish on GNPX. I'm just not interested in holding it while it's dropping. ORCL had a bad day, dropping down, consolidating, and then making these deliberate moves lower. I am still holding a $79 put for February on ORCL. AMC, we all know here, it gapped down, and as it began to consolidate, the implied volatility was not rising. In fact, the implied volatility was only rising for a short period of time through here. And this was my moment to make a trade, and I did, but ultimately on the day I lost money. And that's because of the way the trading day played out. Had this run down happened during normal market hours, my window to make money would have been greater. It's okay. It wasn't a very tradable day for me. I remember when I made my big loss last week that it was a similar situation. Trading around gaps is really difficult. So I'm going to start keeping an eye out for that and trying to manage my losses better there. I did a great job managing my losses today, and I'm just waiting for the moment to appear when I can make my next big move. So I'm already at 3 minutes. That's as long as I want these videos to be. That's what I saw today. What do I see tomorrow? It's possible that we're going to see a little run up, some sideways action, maybe a little optimism, a little bounce from today. But I don't know. You can see I have a descending triangle here. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. And I think the price could rise and test to the bottom of this triangle at around 2080. I think that the price needs to come back up and confirm that 2080 level is too high. You can see the volume today was very high, above the 30-day average, and the RSI also looking very bearish. I do expect to see the RSI move deep into the oversold region. It may come up and touch that 30 level before continuing downward. I think that the bears do have control here. You can see that the volume is decreasing during periods of consolidation, and we've now had these two big volume days. This could just continue. It really could, but I'm going to sit on the sidelines and wait until I see a really clear trend form. And I mean, the trend is pretty clear. It's down, right? And you can see that today the price opened on the internal trend line and closed below it. But you know, honestly, the price doesn't tend to hang around that line very much. This is the only period when we saw the price hover towards that internal trend line. You can see in times past when the price has fallen below it and risen to it, it's driven some big reactions. And so I'm looking at this thinking, you know, this is either a preparation for the next big dump or it's the end of the bear run. I don't think it's the end of the bear run though. So we're probably just preparing for another dump later in the week. I do have a price target of $14.20-ish from this descending triangle. Yeah, $14.24. And I do expect to see that level reached in the next couple of weeks, but it's hard to know exactly when. I think until the next earnings report, and until AMC has some good news, we can just continue this trend to continue. It's been quite bearish. Let me pull up the 4-hour chart really quick and talk about what I see there. My 4-hour chart is following a downtrend that started in September. You can see it's quite long. And today the price closed below that trend line, which may cause a bounce. All right, the price, the last time it was below here, we saw this big rip up. So it's very possible we're gonna see a pullback into the descending triangle, but I'll be watching that 28 level very, 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 very carefully. And what am I at? 5 minutes? God, I just cannot do this fast enough.